All right.
It's time to get at it. Oh boy, it's cold out there. And let me take off this hood now that I'm inside. We'll get on this treadmill. I'll let you know what we're talking about today. See you in a minute. I just got done with the gym. You guys may not know who I am. My channel is all Lupinya. I'm Al, also known as Big Unc. I do reviews, things about land I just purchased. You can go watch those. I have old head rants, and I talk about guns. Today we're going to be talking about not necessarily a gun, but a viewer left me a message asking about constitutional carry. I'm going to get back to the house and we'll get into why I got my CCW and what it is to constitutional carry. I believe that everyone should carry some type of protection item. It could be a gun, it could be a knife, it could be anything. If this is what you're into, stay tuned and we'll get into the pros and the cons of constitutional carry. So I'll be back in just a minute. All right, I'm back and we're talking about constitutional carry today. Constitutional carry came into law on June 13th, 2022. After June 13th, 2022, you were allowed to, if you were eligible and you met the requirements, the same requirements as a CCW person, you have to meet those same requirements, and that code is Ohio Statute 2923.125. So again, that's Ohio Statute 2923.125. That's important. Go to the Attorney General's website and you can look up those gun laws. I would highly recommend that. There's nothing too much different with constitutional carry. There's a lot of rights that you can lose just by not taking the time to learn the laws. Just because you're able to constitutional carry does not mean that you have different laws than a person that has a CCW. Ohio used to, well, still does, have a open carry law before the CCW. Not many people in Ohio use that because it caused some commotion. You'd be out and about, you'd have your firearm out, and even though it was legal for you to open carry, some citizens would call the police and say he's open carrying. Then that costs you a half an hour to an hour explaining your rights that police and sheriffs already know that you have, but because it caused a disturbance to the public, sometimes you get a ticket, you get a fine, they mess with you, and I don't like getting messed with. I try to stay as gray man as possible. I try not to cause any trouble. I believe in constitutional carry, but I also believe in the CCW. With the CCW, if you take the class, you're eligible to go and sit again with most instructors as a refresher course. You don't have that with constitutional carry. A lot of people that constitutional carry also will, because they don't know the law, they'll take their firearm into government buildings, in schools, in bars and drink, to other places that I may not cover on this. That's why it's important for you to go and learn these laws. The same laws that apply to me apply to you. There's not a whole lot of difference, but there's a whole lot of difference at the same time. I would be cautious and know that this is truly what you want to do when you're signing up for this. If you do not feel, and I'm just going to be perfectly blunt with you, if you do not feel, if your life is threatened, that you can take that weapon and not only discharge it and take a life, but that you will be able to protect yourself, I wouldn't get that weapon. Have it not taken from you. We do have the stand your ground law now that allows you to not have to go into another room like the old castle law of Ohio had. You had to go into another room and tell them you had a gun, and then you had to shoot. And if they were outside, the instructors would tell you to drag the body in. I just don't want anyone to be misled that constitutional carry gives you more rights than getting a CCW, because when an officer stops you, this is another one. When an officer stops you, you have to, if he asks, you have to tell him that you have a weapon and where it is. And if you don't know how to word that properly, that could cause a whole other ball of mess that you don't want to deal with and possibly lose your life. I like breathing. You know, there's going to come a day where I'm not anymore, but that's hopefully not today. I would highly encourage you to get some training, because the pistol or a knife is your last resort. Once you take that life, you have to prove that you are in imminent danger. Not only that, but you can only use what they call reasonable force. So everybody's like, oh, I'll unload the clip in him. No, that's really not an option, because they'll say that you used excessive force. If you unloaded, he was dead, so I shot him in the head, and that's another reason why I'm saying go take a class. Between 3 and 7 shots, and if you go over that, then you are in a gray area. They could try to charge you with that. You shot him 10 times and he was already down. They will try to make you out to be the bad guy. That's why I'm saying why I went to get my CCW and renewed this year instead of doing the constitutional carry. But I hope I gave you guys enough information. We will cover this again. I may go subject by subject. But before you start to carry, and we all think that we're John Wayne and Billy Badass because we have a gun, we're not. If someone comes up to us, we can just shoot them. You can't. Real quick, I have a friend, her son was constitutional carrying. I believe he lost his gun rights. So he was constitutional carrying. And what ended up happening was she got into a verbal dispute with a neighbor. The son thought that the situation had escalated, but it wasn't deadly force. So he comes out with his gun, because he was constitutional carrying, and shot the gun in the air. I think it was 2 rounds. Police come, he's in the wrong, they take him to jail. You guys know where I'm talking about if you're from Columbus. He was down at Jackson Pike. You don't want to go down to the Pike. But he's down there, young man, just trying to defend his mother, and got caught up with some stuff he did not need to be involved in. They easily could have done fisticuffs, and that would have probably caused less damage than firing the gun in the air. I don't know what happened with the end of the case, but I believe I know they took his firearm, but I don't know if he kept his gun right. So if I find that out, I'll let you guys know. Again, I've been gabbing. I digress. I hope you guys have a good day. I'm about to go get some food. I will catch you guys in the next one. Big Onk.